What's going on, Nerd Army guys? Welcome to the newest episode of Nerdsmerized. Today, guys, we are going to continue our adventure and episodic journey into the world of Game of Thrones. Today, we are going to be focusing on episode number 6 from season 1, titled A Golden Crown. So, guys, let's get right into it. We start with Ed actually waking up, seeing Cersei Lannister and her husband Robert the King standing over him as he wakes up and is recovering from the stab he got in the back of the leg at the end of last episode by that bitch-ass guard when he was about to fucking chop Jaime Lannister's head off. God, fuck that guard. Swear to God, he would have killed him. So Cersei Lannister tries to stoke the flames and make shit worse, but Robert says, you know what, turns around and slaps the shit out of her. Good for you, bro. She fucked him. She fucking her brother. She turns to tell Robert that she's gonna wear this bruise on her face with honor. And he tells her, if you don't shut the hell up, I'm gonna honor you again. Robert doesn't take Ed quitting to heart. He tosses him his freaking badge back, says, you're the hand again, bitch. I'm going on a hunt to clear my head, go sit on the throne and deal with some bullshit. You're gonna hate it too. Ed says no, but shit, he's the king. You can't fucking say no. We go back to Daenerys and she throws one of her dragon eggs into the fire, hoping it's gonna hatch the egg. And then she grabs it and doesn't get burned, but her handmaiden tries to take it from her and gets burned, showing that the dragon really doesn't burn like she said. So Bran takes another trip into Dreamland and we get to see him follow the Raven even further this time, and it's still got 3 eyes and still creepy fucking mutant, and I don't care. And then all of a sudden, poof! Hodor appears and he's got Bran's new saddle and Bran lights up like the sun. So Theon tries to get into Robb's head and tells him, you know what? You need to be the Lord of Winterfell and you need to go attack. You need to go to war with the Lannisters for attacking your father like that. And then Robb snaps back at Theon and says, why the hell do you care? It's not even your fucking house. Shut up. Savage. He's like your brother, bro. Then we see Bran riding on his horse in his new saddle and he's freaking loving life and it is awesome. Then a few wildlings grab Bran up and yeah, they're trying to take Bran Stark. You about to die, son. Robb would show up and cut a couple of them down, but then Theon would get the final blow. As this guy holds a knife to Bran, Theon shoots him in the back, arrow. Boom! Good shot, bro. Kill shot. So then we see Tyrion still in the sky cell, and he wakes up hanging off the edge, basically almost rolled the fuck off when he was sleeping, and nearly shits his pants. I would too. Shit. Tyrion tries to bribe him his way out with gold, and the guy says, no gold. No getting out. You're screwed, bro. You don't got no gold. Aya meets up with her trainer for another sword lesson or dancing lesson, and he actually teaches her that when you're distracted, you could die. So he teaches her how to stay focused and try to get her off of where her mind's at. Then we flash to Daenerys, who is eating a heart of a horse, while all of her people, all the Dothrakians, watch, including her husband, who's giving her this I'm gonna fuck your face gaze. It's crazy. It's super crazy. This is where she becomes the real queen. This is where she earns the respect of her people and her husband. This is where Viserys gets all pissy and bitches that nobody loves him like they all love her, and he's getting all wasted and being a little bitch. So he tries to do an ultimate dick move and goes into her hut and tries to steal her dragon eggs. But Jorah's like, nah, fuck that, bro. That shit ain't going down. And he drops him like a bitch. So Tyrion actually finally makes headway with the jailer and tells him, you know what, just tell them I want to admit my crimes. So this brings him in front of everyone, where he admits every little crime he did when he was a child, and it was just pranks he played on people, nothing bad, and not what they want to hear. And at this time, Tyrion demands a trial by combat. And then we flash to King Robb and his brother and little Lannister feeding him a bunch of alcohol, and he's getting wasted, and they're on the hunt, and he is fucking smashed. So then we see Ned Stark sitting on the throne having to make some difficult calls. Then we hear that a Lannister and the Mountain were seen destroying villages all around and trying to blame it on a rival house, actually Catelyn's original house. And so they are trying to start a war and make it seem like they're doing all this, when in fact the Mountain. So he hears that the Mountain was there. He hears his figure and his look and everything described, and he says, no, that's the Mountain. So what he does is he puts a freaking price on that dude's head. He is now a wanted man from the throne, and he condemns him to death. Fuck yes, Ed. Screw the Mountain. Screw the Lannisters. Be the G that I know you are. Hell yes. Then we go back to Tyrion, and his champion was chosen, and Bronn, actually, the guy that was traveling with him, actually volunteers to be his champion in his stead, and Bronn fucks up their champion, just jacks his full, lets him tire himself out, and then just kills his ass, tossing him in the well. Tyrion gets his cash back, gets his Fedia back, starts walking out, tosses the jailer his money. A Lannister always pays their debts. Peace! And just walks the fuck out like a gangster. Hell yes. So then Joffrey shows up and he starts putting the moves on Sansa. He's like, from this day on, you're my girl. And then Joffrey gives her a present and Sansa melts and falls even more in love with this little inbred piece of shit. Girl, check yourself before you wreck yourself. So then we see Roz is leaving Winterfell and she is going to King's Landing. She's hitching a ride on a turnip cart. Theon asks for one last show and she flicks her some gold and she's like, give me the dudes, girl. Then she gives him one little peep show flash and yeah, peep show flash. So then we see Ed tell his girls that they need to pack their shit. They're going back to Winterfell for their own safety. They protest, especially Sansa, because she wants to suck Joffrey's balls, even though he's an inbred douche. And he says, fuck that, daddy makes the rules, girls go get your shit. So they go, they're going to get their shit. Ed goes through the book that he found and realizes that every other person in King Robert's family has black hair, including all of his bastard children. But Joffrey's got blonde. Because Robert ain't the son. Nasty Jamie is. Then we see little bitch ass Viserys try to ruin his sister's feast that is in her honor by going in there and putting his thing down and trying to be a dick. He pulls a sword, puts it to his sister's stomach where the baby is, and freaking Khal Drogo is staring at this motherfucker like, I'm gonna rip your fucking face off, dude. And it gets really intense and he is drunk as fuck. And he's like, you are gonna go get your army and go get me my fucking crown, my golden crown upon this head. You're gonna go get me my crown, use your army, do what I said. I'm the king. The whole time he's saying this, Daenerys doesn't even flinch a bit. She's staring him down like, what, bitch? Like a badass Khaleesi. Then Drogo says, fuck that. He has his men hold that motherfucker. He's like, you want a crown of gold? I'll give you a crown of gold. He takes off the big old gold belt he's wearing, throws it in the cauldron, right over the fire, melts that shit down, has his men hold him, grabs that shit, and dumps it on his head. We see Viserys melt his face and everything, and then die. And freaking Daenerys didn't even flinch. She looked at him like the hardest chick I've ever seen in my life. And she just says, a real dragon doesn't burn. Hell yes. Oh, yes. Guys, I want to know what you guys thought about this episode. I really loved it myself. I personally thought it was a great episode. The Golden Crown was great, and I love that its meaning works so well with this episode. I'm really stoked to see what happens next. Let me know your thoughts on my recap and review and this episode of Game of Thrones down in the comments below. Make sure you guys leave your comment. I always love hearing from you guys. Make sure you guys like this video. Subscribe to the channel to keep up with all the episodic adventures into the world of Game of Thrones and all the other videos we put out every week, guys. I'm Andrew. You have been watching Nerdsmerized, and I will see you next time. All right? Peace out.